Please believe me, the river told me very softly, want you to hold me.
My friend Bob Earhart, who has also been on the podcast, was telling me about Stephen and how they're working on this project together. And they were telling me about it. And then Bob said privately, "You've got to have Stephen on the podcast because he's quite interesting." He's been on a show called Outlander, which ran for many seasons. And I finally checked it out. It's so beautifully shot, a very beautifully shot series with great acting. He plays someone who's Scottish. So most of it, I believe, is shot in Scotland, as he told me. But if you haven't seen it, you should check it out. But he's done so many other things. He's also a writer, a producer, a musician. I want to introduce you before I forget, but today my special guest is Stephen Walters, who is an actor that my friend Bob Earhart introduced me to, right? Our mutual friend Bob. And by the way, I must confess, I started watching Outlander last night because I wanted to see my friend. I told my friend Leah about you, and she was like, "Oh, he's a good actor. He plays a Scottish guy, you know." Which brings me to, can I bring up the thing about Bob and the project you guys are talking about? Yeah, because for people listening, it's like my friend Bob Earhart's comedian, and I had him on the podcast a few months ago, and he was like telling me about your project, and you guys got brought together because of the love of the Doors, right?
Yes. So, I mean, it's weird with Bob. Obviously, you know him, but I feel like I know him, but we haven't met. It's a weird.
Oh,
I
wow.
feel like he's some kind of like other brother or uncle or something. So yeah, I saw his work, his channel on YouTube, which is probably one of my guilty pleasures. Is YouTube. I don't really watch TV or anything,
Right.
and I came across his channel, and I kind of very quickly nicknamed him the custodian of the Doors music. His films are beautiful, honestly.
Yeah.
His editing, um, his visual sense, the way he executes it, like a little mini movies. And I thought, who's that guy? Who's this? Could be it could be a woman. Who is it? It could be anybody. So I've never taken it upon myself to comment on YouTube. I thought, you know what? I'm gonna have to tell this person that I think their stuff's great. And so I did, tippy tappy, and said, and that was it. And then he got back and tippy tap. So this went on for like, it was like pen pals through YouTube. And so I said, look, maybe we should communicate via email. It may be a bit more private. It's easier. And so we did. And we just found we had this mutual sort of, I don't know if obsession is the word, but it's close to an obsession with the Doors and everything to do with the Doors music. And
It's interesting. I was telling someone the other day, because I've had the Doors have come in and out of my life too. Like when I think I was 19, I think I was an extra on the Doors movie at a scene with Val Kilmer. But I loved it. I loved working on that movie because I'm into costumes and stuff, and Oliver
oh,
Stone really does a good job, you know.
go away. That's how mad is that?
Yeah. So anyway, but I know a lot of musicians that don't really take the Doors very seriously for some reason. I don't know why. I guess they don't think there's, I don't know. I've met a group of people that they're not into the Doors, right? But on the other hand, what, 50, is it 50 years later? They're just like, bigger. It seems like they're bigger than ever, right?
I think because their music fundamentally is timeless. I think if I was to sort of, if I had a criticism of the Doors, and maybe this is why friends don't like them, they're very dark bands, very heavy, very break
That's
on
true. That's
through.
true. Yeah.
All about it's all about something very dark in human nature and human psyche. But I think it's something that as human beings, it's in our nature to want to wish to avoid that. And the Doors remind us that it's there. And it's like this, I always imagine it's like a bird, one of those falcons or an eagle that's watching everything. And, the break on through, the fine line between life and death or joy and sadness. And I always felt they were the best band for walking that tightrope,
Yeah.
whatever that.
that the edge, and also Jim Morrison always seemed like he was on the edge of just going off the edge. You know what I mean? He was just like dangerous, you know?
Yeah. Well, he said, what was the line about out here in the perimeter, there are no stars, out here we are stoned immaculate. He always tended to talk about things that pushing the boundaries. What is
Right.
the,
That's
he
true.
probably would have said there was no boundary.
Right. Which is
You know,
kind of, yep, you're right about that. Um, so you guys both had this obsession, for the lack of a better word, and then you started telling Bob about the movie idea that you had for it, right?
yes, but I mean, to be honest with you, I struggled with an idea because I thought The Doors has been already done with the movie that you've just mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Countless documentaries on them. There's been even Bob's channel's great in its own way to exploring what the Doors mean. So I thought I'm a great believer in not rushing something or forcing something that doesn't feel right. And then as I'm talking to Bob over the years, a couple of years, I'm thinking, and he's telling me his stories about his life, and I'm always filtering, I'm always taking things in sort of subliminally at least.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm sort of developing a storyline that has the Doors as a backdrop, but it's fundamentally about this guy in search of his past. So it's not really about the Doors, but the Doors is a shadow of the piece.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
As I'm writing it, I'm about 75% there now, and it's really good. I don't want, I hate that to sound facetious, but I have to believe it is. I think it is. And in my head, I'm thinking, well, who can play this part? And I think, well, I think I'm a little bit too young for this part. And then I'm thinking of actors that I know, and my head's going all over the place. And then it sounds again a corny or a eureka moment. I went, hang on, this protagonist is Bob. It is him. I don't mean him as in like,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
not him playing himself, but the essence, the juice, the meat of it is being massively influenced by him. So as I'm writing this thing, I wasn't subconsciously I was subconsciously understanding that, but not consciously. And then when I went, boom, it's fucking hell. Sorry for my language. You are this part. You have to play this part.
He must
And
have loved that though, because I don't know if Bob ever, I think he thought about being an actor years ago, but I don't know about, more recently.
well, to be honest with you, again, the actor in me, because I've directed a few short films, there's something about Bob's cadence and his physicality, even his laugh. Actually, he's got a really naughty laugh, which I love. It's kind of cackly sort of. And I thought, in the right part, with the camera in his face, he's got a great face. It'd be really good. And I thought, it's him. I said, you've been waiting all your life to play a lead part in a film, and this is it.
That's so great. You're very, I love people like you that are not only, you're an artist yourself and you want to work, but you also support other people,
Oh, listen, I'm a great believer. I would only support somebody if I believed in them, though.
Right.
I say that. So it's not like I don't think anyone's a charity or does something for nothing. I actually believe in him. I think he's got something. I really do.
We can invent kingdoms of our own, grand purple thrones, those chairs of lust and love we must, in beds of rust. Steel doors lock in prisoners' screams, and Muzak AM rocks their dreams. We welcome you to our procession.
That's coming here to dream, loving every second, every moment, every scream. I've been waiting that's coming to the dream. Loving every second, every moment, every scream. I've been waiting so long to sing this song, and I've been waiting so long for this thing to come. Oh, I've been thinking so long I was the only one. I can stand here strong and thin, and I can laugh when this thing begins.
For over 1,000 years, Roman conquerors returning from the wars enjoyed the honor of a triumph, a tumultuous parade. In the procession came trumpeters and musicians and strange animals from the conquered territories, together with carts laden with treasure and captured armaments. The conqueror rode in a triumphal chariot, the dazed prisoners walking in chains before him. Sometimes his children, robed in white, stood with him in the chariot or rode the trace horses. A slave stood behind the conqueror, holding a golden crown and whispering in his ear a warning that all glory is fleeting.